Hello, welcome. So I've been working on this project as well, and just want to let you all see what I've been working on. Some of this will make it into like some of the stuff that I'm working on here will help with making things for the other project, and so I'll just let you all see everything. Got coastal upwelling, coastal downwelling, got windward, so winds hit the mountains, forced upward, become clouds, and then when they go on the other side, they lose all of their moisture and go down as cold and dry. But it's just basically the blue is meaning that it's moist, and then the reds meaning that it's dry. So, and then I got springtide and neap tide. And so the orb here is just going back and forth. And whenever the moon gets over to the other side, it'll be somewhat equal on each side for the tides to symbolize the high tide and low tides. And then got the adiabatic process, which is just warm air rising, warm moist air rising, and then becoming a cloud. And then so you have adiabatic process, just basically the same thing, but with the added effect of, hey, by the way, it'll actually the particles, the water vapor will become too heavy for the clouds to be sustained, and then it'll actually fall as rain. And I've got hot to cold and cold to hot. So just as a parcel gets warmer, it has more space to fit in more moisture, and it's also more accelerated. The particles are more accelerated. So there's that. And then density, as more of these particles move in or out, then the density will decrease and the weights will also decrease. And then vice versa. So, and then I've got this little spot teleport here. Now we've got curvature vorticity and shear vorticity all in here, and then that works out to relative vorticity. So we've got negative vorticity over here, and then positive over there. And then get a little bit closer. So you can see here, we've got the chimney effect and dampener effect. So right here, the damper effect is acting. Chimney effect to dampener effect, and then back to the chimney effect, and then the damper effect at the poles. And yeah, this is just generally how the winds work. And you can see that we've got the pole that's there on the surface, and then the sub um, subpolar low that was over there and coming up here, the Aleutian low, and then the other one was the Icelandic low. Got the Pacific high, and then the Bermuda Azores high here, and then the blanking on the word, blanking on the words, but they're there. It's been a long day, so we're gonna move into the next area, and we've got stable wave moving to an unstable wave, late mature and decaying wave. This is the only one that I have nicely animated with some arrows. Other than that, it's just the I haven't gotten to this part yet, and honestly, I'm trying to work on. I've got a room over there. It's called testing. In this build, I don't have what I've been working on over there inside the room, but in my next build, I actually have, or in the engine, I actually have different levels of, it's a whole room of particles, and then the different levels. So there's a low, 5 lows, and surface 850, 850, 700, 500, and 300 millibars. And all of those are in Niagara, having point directional, I forget what it's called, but is being basically having 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 in each corner, and then one is giving particles to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, and we've got particles rising on one side and then falling on the other side, and so it makes it so that it swirls up, and then finally at the top I have the 300 millibar winds, just basically just throwing all of the particles downstream, so that and then I'll have it so that the stacking changes, so you can manually move where each of these levels are, so that you can basically cut off the supply from a loft. If it were stacked perfectly, then it would just throw to the next and the next and then be able to sustain itself. But once it gets vertically stacked, it isn't able to sustain itself. So that's what I've been working on. And that's what is explained here. We've got, this is the perfect well, between this and the late mature is the perfect situation where we've got all this cold air that's coming down and then all this warm air that's coming up. And so it's able to continuously go. And in a perfect situation, in a perfect weather situation, you would want to have this be able to continue, but eventually the upper level winds keep on going and going and going, and eventually it becomes like this decaying wave to where it's cut off. We don't even have the 300 millibars anymore, 300 millibar jet supporting it anymore. It's all the way downstream, and we've got everything just collapsing, all of this cold air that's just rushing down, and the warm air's going out ahead. It's not able to circulate the way that it is nicely with the unstable wave. So, but is there, and then we've got with that 3-cell model in the other room. This is associated with it, but it's taught in this section with everything, and elaborate on a little bit more. So we got cold air that's sinking near the poles, and then that creates a low pressure at the low heights, and then high pressure, and then low pressure, high pressure, then low pressure at the equator. So, yeah. And then here we've got warm air that's rising in the equator and creating high heights because so much air is coming up and creating those higher and higher heights. All that mass is just being built up aloft. So yeah, like I said, nothing in here. And then in here, we've got non-supercell tornado genesis, supercell tornado genesis, and supercell hail. Don't mind that. It's just an extra word that I forgot to take out. So what we've got here is that eventually I'll have it animated to where this red cyclonically turning air, that should be turning anticyclonically from the way that you're looking at it, like this. So going away from you anticyclonically, and then eventually the warm air is pushed up, warm moist air, that's these green lines, is pushed up and in, and that turns that rotating, that anticyclonically rotating air, turns it up, goes up in the air, And then from a top view, looking down, it's rotating cyclonically and then goes up and up and up. And then the upper air, the 300 millibars, pushes it downstream. That's how we get this anvil shape there. And then from there, um, we've got air that goes over, up, over, and then it's changing temperature. It's getting colder, and then eventually gets cold, and drops as rain. And then we also can form up tornadoes here based on downdrafts. So based on between the formation of multiple cells, uh, multiple storm cells, each of those collapsing and then conjoining together and then creating that swirl that you have here with a tornado. And they can have a down up approach, a bottom up approach, a top down approach, or a little bit of a combination of the both. So there's that. And then we've got supercell tornado genesis, and we've got the dry air intrusion that's added in. So if we have that dry air intrusion, it comes in, wraps around the high rotating updraft, and then comes down around, and then creates the wall cloud, and then eventually creating a tornado. So cool. And then here we've got supercell hail. So we've got so basically hail can go back and forth between the updraft and the downdraft based on whether it's heavy enough to actually fall all the way to the ground, and it just continuously grabs more and more moisture and stacks up more and more layers and then falls. So cool stuff there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's what I've been working on. Hope you like it. Have a good day.